To our Properties Committee meeting, and after the committee has looked at the agenda, I would ask to entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
The agenda?
The
minutes, sir. All right, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to approve the minutes.
All in favor, let it be known by the voting sign aye.
Aye.
Opposed by the same sign. New business, authorization for the mayor to execute a commercial aeronautical lease agreement with Sanders Flight Training Center. Mr. Jeff Powell.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank
Good
you
afternoon.
for having us today.
Yes, sir.
We worked through a lease with Sanders Flight Training Center to operate a flight training center and aircraft rentals for an existing building on the airport. They're offering over $100,000 of investment to improve that facility to start their students. It's on the central next to the terminal.
Yes.
And we look forward to them being located here. They currently have an operation in Walker County and looking to extend their operation here in Tuscaloosa. So we are recommending a 10-year lease with a 1-year rent abatement during the construction period.
Okay.
And look forward to them being a partner at Tuscaloosa.
There any questions?
I'm curious, as far as the business plan goes, what is the expectation, or how are you measuring success of candidates, and kind of what is your thought as you start this? Once you're up and running.
Take the podium.
Once we're up and running.
Once you're up and running, what do you
This
think?
is our 3-year plan. That's our original proposal.
That we had.
Appendix A that we just
talked
revised
about.
on the 29th.
Mhm.
And then I guess I'll just meander on up here. So as far as a matrix for success. So there's a lot of different success models depending upon what the student seeks to accomplish. So some people want to become a private pilot or an instrument rated pilot, and that is their success model. However, what our company does very well as a FAA certified Part 141 school is take a student from private pilot all the way to ATP. And ATP stands for Airline Transport Pilot. So that is a Part 121 carrier. So all across the country in the United States of America, you have to have an ATP to go fly for FedEx, Delta, Southwest, any of those carriers that you are going to fly. So right now we graduate almost 1,000 students a year at a single location. So we are, I believe, the largest family-owned flight school in the country that provides that many students into the airline industry each year.
And what is the normal time frame of that?
So to get an ATP that is non-restricted, and I won't get down into the weeds on what
I was
those.
about to guess, you have to have so many flying hours.
Yeah,
too,
so
right?
1,500 hours is for a full up ATP, and that makes you applicable to go to the airlines. And each airline has their own standards, so some of them might be different on turbine time, whether or not they require a 4-year degree, but 1,500 is the standard throughout the industry. So the quickest way to do that is to go from private pilot into a CFI, which stands for Certified Flight Instructor, and at that point you get paid to build time because you're instructing. All that time counts toward the 1,500 hours.
Is the school, refresh my memory, is the school tuition, is it based on your training? Is it, when you're training people there, is it like a tuition fee, or is it per hour fee, or is it per class, or what's the
So
structure of that?
the categories are usually private pilot is 35 hours. It's around 10,000. To be a Part 141 certified organization, you can actually reduce the hours because it sticks to such a strict training regimen.
Mm-hmm.
So we use King Schools and Cessna. That's who the FAA has approved us to use. So the country standard is 40 hours, but we can do it in 35 because of that certification. And that's what a Part 141 versus Part 61 flight school will enable you to do. But as far as a lot of flight schools say, hey, it's going to be $130,000 and we're going to take you from here to there. Well, we're in a small town. We understand that people can't afford that. So we have a pay-as-you-go program as well. And we have all that broken out into flight hours, whether it's dual, solo, single engine, or multi-engine, and wet or dry fuel leasing programs.
Glad you're here. Exciting.
Opportunity
for us.
Along those lines, and will you talk about the impact that your training school is going to have with local schools?
Are you trying to get me to cry?
No.
So this past year, this all came from meeting Jeff Powell and attending the Alabama Council on Aviation's annual meeting, which Jeff just rotated off as the president of. Y'all should be super proud of his efforts throughout the state. I met the Southern Regional Director of the FAA, and learned all about aviation career education. So there's a whole STEM program throughout the country called ACE that the FAA puts on. And through this, I started a nonprofit. It's a 501c3. It's called Operation Aviation Foundation. And our mission is to take children who are currently underrepresented in aviation or in underserved communities, which we have a lot of in Alabama, and we take them and we show them all the different possibilities that there are in aviation, from becoming a maintainer to an air traffic controller to going into the military to airline transport pilot, even air medical services. So we held a 3-day camp in Jasper, which we're really excited to bring here to Tuscaloosa as well. We had kids from all over the country. We had the XO of NASA. We had Blue Angels. We had everybody that you can think of from different facets of the aviation community come and serve as mentors and role models for these children. And the camp was a huge success. I'm currently getting my PhD in aeronautics right now, so I was able to use a lot of the different metrics for my dissertation in this, judging self-efficacy with children and them seeing their role models that look like them and how that strengthens their self-efficacy to be able to do roles like this that they may not have many of those currently in the market. Does that make sense?
So they kind of see themselves.
Yes, yes.
You can see themselves, or they can see themselves.
But we were
They could do
really thrilled with that. Jeff actually came up and spoke about what it takes to become an airport director and all the things that he's in charge of. So we covered engineering to really all the aspects.
Mr. Fett, I think you had a question.
I just want to, this is probably nonsense, but I know, like, could someone that's a veteran use their veteran benefit?
Yes, sir. So that
Okay.
is a very long process. It took us about a year to a year and a half, and it is highly regulated by the government, which it should be.
Sure.
So we can use all the post 9/11, chapter 31, 33, 35 for the VA. We also have a rotor transition plan that we developed to bring a lot of the Army, Navy, Marine Corps is what we see mostly, rotor pilots, and transition them into fixed wing. But we do a lot with the VA. We're very proud of that. We're also currently partnered with Liberty University. So we offer 4-year degrees in Jasper, Alabama through our aviation bachelor's program.
And is that out at the community college, or is that?
No, it's at our flight school.
Oh, okay.
So we currently have 4 classrooms, very large classrooms, 4 briefing rooms. We're our own testing facility. So if you had somebody that was taking the MCAT or the LSAT, we have those standardized testing in the FAA realm.
Sure.
So we provide those. We just broke
Wow.
ground on an 18-bay testing facility. And to become a pilot and use your VA benefits, you have to have a 1st through 3rd class flight medical. There's only so many AMEs, is what they're called, in the FAA. Those are doctors who can give flight medicals and flight reviews. And we have 2 doctors who come into Sanders and travel. And we have a fully vetted FAA medical facility on site at our flight school, EKG machines, everything that we do there.
So this is not a mom and pop shop. It's coming
We like
out
to
of-
pretend like we still are, but I think we're in the realm now that we've got to start thinking outside. But I'm really, really excited to be back down here. When Jeff and I first spoke this time after the conference last year, I came down to meet about something completely different, and I saw the wheels started turning. And I'm a graduate of the university, and I'm really many years ago, but I'm very excited to be back down here and to give back to this community. We don't want to just come here and pipe students into Sanders and make money. We want to be a really vested community partner and bring our STEM program with us and get that into the schools at a young age and really make an impact on the community.
Exciting, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion to approve.
Second, all in favor, motion sign aye.
Aye.
Hey, we are grateful and thankful
Thank
Well,
you.
to have you
Thank
here.
Welcome back
Great
to
luck.
Tuscaloosa.
Welcome back.
Too much of the too much information.
Roll
Tide.
Roll Tide.
Roll
All
Tide.
right. Mr. Woodson, ordinance declaring real property surplus and no longer needed for municipal
This is about
purposes.
16 of 18 properties in the surplus inventory that I keep up with. And as you're aware, when you order a house to be demolished, the city eventually demolishes it, and then they come back to you to set the cost of demolition. And if the people don't pay for it, and we work with them if they contact us, then eventually there's a lien. And then if they don't pay for it when it's time for the annual sale, which is November the 14th this year. Then we foreclose and we sell the property. And we have an inventory of these that we have not been able to get rid of. There's 18, and we're recommending 16 to be declared surplus for sale. The reason there's 2 left over is one is very recent, and there's a redemption period where the original owner can redeem it, so we didn't want to do that one. And there's one that's got us tied in with a joint owner from a sale at the courthouse when they became the tax sale purchaser. So there's 14 of them. And so these have been around for a while. They've been offered to Habitat many times because they always get the annual list. And we've had probably 25 people look at our list over the time, and this is kind of what's left over. So what we propose is to declare them surplus, put them on the auction for the November 14th. We're going to get them advertised as best we can by putting them through different links like Patch and Thread, so people will see we're having a sale and they can look at the city's website to get a list of the properties. And we think we'll sell most of these properties. We'll make the prices attractive. If they're too high, people won't bid on them because they're more than the properties are worth. So we'll have properties ranging from $300 to $1,500. And what's going to depend on part of it is the size of the lot, because some of them, the only person will want it's next door because they're 25 feet wide. So we recommend making these surplus, and we think we'll get rid of most of our inventory. We may add to it because we're also putting the other demolition properties on the sale, some of which are $8,000 to $10,000 the cost of demolition, and we'll probably end up with those back. So we constantly try to work down this inventory, and I hope if somebody buys them, puts a house there for rent or sale, and we get it back on the rolls.
Any questions of the committee?
All right, you'll see that Tuesday.
Motion to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Second. All in favor? Motion sign aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next meeting of the Council Committee on Properties will be Tuesday, November 7th, 2023 at 5 p.m. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second. All in favor?